District Court Department 17 is now in session. The Honorable Judge Jennifer Schwartz presiding.
Good morning. Everyone have a seat,
Your Honor.
please. We have a packed CCDC area, don't we? We do, Your Honor. Okay. Please give me a moment. My understanding is we're ready to go on page 2. Have your rugs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
C-373594, State of Nevada versus Henry James Rhodes III.
Oh,
Good morning.
okay.
Morning, Your Honor.
I'll go up there, Richie. Okay.
My understanding is this matter is negotiated. Mr. Chesnoff, Mr. Schoenfeld, do you want to place the negotiation on the record?
Sure, thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. As to count one, both parties stipulate to a sentence of 36 to 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. As to count two, the parties stipulate to a sentence of 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, concurrent to count one, which results in a total sentence of 36 to 120 months. All remaining counts contained in the criminal complaint, which were bound over to district court, shall be dismissed when the defendant is adjudged guilty and sentenced. The state and defense will further stipulate that the felony sentence controls, and Mr. Ruggs will not serve Clark County detention center jail time, nor will a warrant or detainer be lodged, as that would impact his classification. The parties further stipulate the district court will retain jurisdiction to modify and suspend the misdemeanor sentence in the event that a detainer or warrant is lodged. The state will dismiss all remaining counts and bring no additional charges against Mr. Ruggs arising from the investigation in this case. The resolution is conditioned upon this honorable court accepting the stipulations of the parties. In the event the court does not accept the stipulations, then Mr. Ruggs will be permitted to withdraw his guilty plea and proceed to trial, and all the rights that are attendant to that, Your Honor. I agree to the forfeiture of any and all weapons or any interest in any weapon seized and or impounded in connection with the instant case, meaning Mr. Ruggs does, or any other case negotiated in whole or in part in conjunction with this plea agreement. Mr. Ruggs understands and agrees that if he fails to interview with the Department of Parole and Probation, fails to appear at any subsequent hearings in this case, or an independent magistrate by affidavit review confirms probable cause against him for new criminal charges, including reckless driving or DUI, but excluding minor traffic violations, the state will have the unqualified right to argue for any legal sentence and term of confinement allowable for the crime to which he is pleading guilty, including the use of any prior convictions he may have to increase his sentence as a habitual criminal to 5 to 20 years, life without the life without the possibility of parole. Mr. Schoenfeld was reminding me I'm probably saying more than I need to, but I'm going to finish. That's why we're going to have a talk about that when we get back to the office. Life with the possibility of parole after 10 years, or a definite 25-year term with the possibility of parole after 10 years.
And Mr. Ruggs is not eligible for habitual criminal treatment either way, but I understand the standard language of the guilty plea agreement. Real quick though, I noticed that there is no attached admonishment on the DUI. Do we not need that for this kind of charge, especially since there's a DUI first that he's pleading to, and nope, that's a vehicular manslaughter, my apologies, but still the driving while under the influence, do we not need an admonishment for that?
No.
Okay. Okay, sir, did you hear those negotiations?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your true full name?
Henry Rose III.
Okay, I'm going to need you to speak up, please, okay?
My apologies, Your Honor.
You're fine. I just need you to speak up because we're recording everything, okay? How old are you?
I'm 24.
How far did you go in school?
Some college.
Do you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have difficulties understanding information when it's either written or spoken?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently taking any medications, or have you recently used any drugs, substances, or alcohol that make it difficult for you to understand what's happening in court today?
No, Your Honor.
Have you received a copy of the information charging you with one count of driving while under the influence resulting in death, a felony, as well as one count of vehicular manslaughter, misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand these charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
And as the felony charge of driving while under the influence resulting in death, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And as to the charge of vehicular manslaughter, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you making your pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone forcing you or threatening you or anyone closely associated with you in order for you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
Aside from what's contained in the guilty plea agreement, has anyone made you any promises in order for you to plead guilty today?
No, Your Honor.
I have the filed stamped copy of the, not a copy, I have the filed stamped version of the guilty plea agreement. Did you read through this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And were your attorneys available to answer any and all questions regarding this document before you signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand everything contained in this document before you signed it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And are you satisfied with the advice that you received from your attorneys?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're hereby giving up your constitutional and appellate rights, all of which are listed in the guilty plea agreement you just told me you read through and signed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, your guilty plea can have negative immigration consequences, including deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you discuss your case and your rights with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that the penalty range for count 1, driving while under the influence resulting in death, has a penalty range of anywhere from 2, has a penalty range of anywhere from 2 to 20 years in Nevada Department of Corrections, and that you will be fined anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that the penalty range for count 2 is anywhere up to 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center, and that you will be ordered to pay a $1,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that pursuant to statute, you understand that the court will order the installation of a breath ignition interlock device at your own expense, and any vehicle that you own or operate as a condition of the reinstatement of your driving privileges for not less than 12 months and not more than 36 months upon your release from prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that as a consequence of your plea in this case, that if you should be convicted of any subsequent DUI, driving while under the influence offenses, regardless of when that offense takes place, that the conviction shall be a felony and punishable by imprisonment in the Nevada Department of Corrections for a minimum of 2 years and a maximum of 15 years and a fine again of anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that imprisonment does not excuse that fine either?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And do you also understand that the Department of Motor Vehicles will revoke or suspend your license for at least 3 years and impose a $35 civil penalty, and that the DOV may also suspend the registration on any vehicles that you own or operate?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you also understand, as a result of your plea, that if you are convicted of 3 driving while under the influence offenses during your lifetime, including the offense for which you are pleading today, and that you promptly caused the death of another individual while driving while under the influence of alcohol, liquor, or controlled substance, and or prohibited substance, and then you could also be prosecuted for vehicular manslaughter? Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that the penalty range for that offense, should that happen, is anywhere from life with the possibility of parole after 10 years, or a definite term of 25 years with the possibility of parole after 10 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also understand that as a result of your offense, that you're going to be required to pay administrative assessment fees and a chemical analysis fee?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you understand that as to count 1, that is not a probationable offense, meaning that there's no way that you can be sentenced to anything other than prison time as a result of that plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that technically count 2 is probationable, but it's swallowed up by count 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand that sentencing, though, is solely up to the court, meaning no one can make any promises of leniency or special treatment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask me or your attorney regarding this negotiation, your case, or your rights before I accept your guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, are you pleading guilty because in truth and in fact, on or about November 2nd, 2021, you did willfully, unlawfully drive and or were in actual physical control of a motor vehicle on or off a highway at or near South Raven Boulevard and South Spring Valley Parkway here in Las Vegas, Clark County, and that you were responsible pursuant to one or more of the following theories. 1, while under the influence of an intoxicating liquor, alcohol, to any degree which rendered you incapable of safely driving and or exercising actual physical control of a motor vehicle, and or 2, that while you had a concentration of alcohol of 0.08 or more in your blood, and or 3, by failing to pay full time and attention, to your driving, and or by failing to exercise due care, and or by failing to drive in a careful and prudent manner, and or speeding, which acts or neglect of duties, vehicle that you were driving and or in actual physical control to strike and collide with a vehicle occupied by a Tina Tinter. Said collision approximately causing the death of said Tina Tinter. Is that what you did, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you also, on that same day of November 2nd, 2021, unlawfully and proximately while driving and or being in actual physical control of a motor vehicle on a highway or premises to which the public had access to at South Rainbow Boulevard and South Spring Valley Parkway here in Las Vegas, Clark County, cause the death of Tina Tinter, a human being, through the act or commission that constitutes simple negligence?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court finds that the defendant's plea is freely and voluntarily made. The court understands the nature, offense, and consequence of the plea and accepts the guilty plea. I know that you are out, is it on electronic monitoring as well?
And a cash
Okay,
bill.
and I know you've been out this entire time. Do you want an in custody or an out of custody sentencing date?
Out of custody sentencing date.
Okay, sir, this matter is referred to the Department of Parole and Probation for a pre-sentence investigation report, and we're going to set this for an out of custody sentencing date.
August 9th, 9 a.m.
Okay, sir, all of the conditions that have been placed upon you in the justice court level, they still apply to you today. So all those electronic monitoring, everything, conditions apply. And you are ordered to report to the Division of Parole and Probation within 48 hours of today's date, okay? All right, I'll see you on that August date.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bellman, Mr. Schoenfeld, and I approach for one moment.
Certainly.
Thank you. Okay, let's go.
Who's ready to go next? It's a full courtroom, but I imagine not everyone is prepared to go for it. All right. Here we go.
C373805, State of Nevada versus Keith Fernandez.
Good morning, Your Honor. Catherine Curry Diamond on behalf of Mr. Fernandez, who's present in custody. We have this matter negotiated with the court's permission.